What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Sunday. It is April 13th. We are back. We've got a full slate for that. We've also already dropped our NBA video for today's slate. So if you want to check that out, that'll be linked at the end of the video. Go check it out. Any one of you guys, if you watch the videos, you click on the ads, you watch the entirety of the video for the watch hours and watch minutes. That helps us in the algorithm. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, our email will be down below, dfshelp1@gmail.com. We have a free Discord as well. And along with that, we will have our article out here linked in the description to talk about some of the plays. So what we do in this video is we go through every single game. So if you're new to the channel, however you found us, let me know how you found us down below. I'd love to know if it's the front of YouTube, if you Googled MLB DFS 41325. I want to know how you guys found us. But we break down every single game. So the videos are longer than what you're probably used to, but we're breaking down every game besides the Sunday Night Baseball game. And in that game, we could also break that game down, I guess, a little bit, but we don't have all the pitchers for that. So the Cubs don't have the pitcher that's out there yet. But anyway, we break down the pitchers, we break down the batters, we look at everything. So we look at how they've done in the past against them, how they've done against the handedness of the pitcher, everything. If you need a little bit more help, we do have FTA Plus, which is $10 for a week, $30 for a month, $199 for a year, or $500 for a lifetime pass. Now, I have 3 people out there that have asked me about this deal for the $99. So we have a deal right now. There's 2 spots available still. I'm still waiting on. Instead of $199 for the year, it is $99, so you get $100 off. If you are interested, email me right now, dfshelp1@gmail.com. I'm still waiting on them, but it's first come, first serve. So if you beat them and you send the money in, we will get you set up for that year of access. So we have MLB, NASCAR, NBA, NFL, PGA, and MMA. All sports are in outside of NFL season. So what we're going to do is we're going to break that down. We try to have giveaways every single video, 2 giveaways in these videos. So listen up. Here's how you win. You got to like this video. You got to be a subscriber to the YouTube page, and you have to leave a comment on the video. If this video gets at least 50 likes, you'll have a shot at a free week of FTA Plus, all sports. If the video gets at least 100 likes, you'll have a shot at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. And the second way to win, somewhere in the video, there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Listen for it. Type it in and have a second shot at a free week. So we are going to see who the winner from yesterday's video is. This is just for getting a minimum of 50 likes. So this doesn't have anything to do with the keyword. So even if the keyword is in this comment, we're still going to re-roll it for that keyword. So GStew721, I stick to Coors Light, I'm boring. So the keyword or key phrase was either beer or give me a new, like a beer to choose. So I'm looking for like a new one just to try it. I'm a beer connoisseur, as they say. So GStew, I think this is the first time I've ever seen your comment. So congratulations on winning. And this was because we got a minimum of 50 likes on the video. So I'm still going to re-roll this, and you still have a shot at winning a week on top of that because of the keyword or key phrase that you had in it. So please email me if you do not have an account on our website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Please email me a username, an email, and a password you would like. We will set you up and say you are the 413 views winner or 412 views winner, something like that for the subject line. So we're going to re-roll it, and this is for the keyword or key phrase. Let's see if the winner is the same. We haven't had one in a long time. So there you go. Pollock Hillbilly, you have won in the past. You've won multiple times. Congratulations on winning again. Please email me. You know the drill. Let me know your username on our website. Again, I apologize. I should know by now for how many times you've won. But congratulations to both of you. We are going to break down all of the games. If you need a little bit more help, we do have FTA Plus under the MLB tab. You can see we have our matchup tool, which will have all of the players that we're going to talk about. And after we go through every single game, we're going to give you all of the players that currently have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through our 10,000 simulation. So we do 20,000 a day. We're going to do the first 10,000 and give you all of the players that have a 10 out of 10. About an hour before the main slate locks every single day, we update the matchup tool to have 20,000 simulations, and you can see how all the players break down. That is a good, and I had a question about this yesterday, that is a good point and starting point to look for players maybe that you want to bet on for home runs, or if you want to use them for DFS. So we'll have every player that has a 10 out of 10 matchup rating has a great matchup, whether or not it's the pitcher, the handedness, the ballpark factor, the weather, the wind, all of that is combined into that matchup rating. So go check out all of that stuff that we have here. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go over the games. We're then going to go over all the players that have a 10 out of 10. And then we're going to give you our top 5 pitchers of the day in our Pitches Be Crazy segment. And those are pitchers that have a good matchup against teams that strike out the most this year. So what I want to do right now is I want to rock and roll, and I want to start looking at this main slate. So like I said, at the end of this video, we're going to have our NBA video. So please go check that out. If you guys could help us out by watching that entire video and watching this entire video, clicking on all of the ads. I know they're annoying, but as much information as I give you here, as much time as I take making these lineups and videos every single day, I just ask you to do that. On top of that, I had a couple of you guys actually send me a Cash App donate or tip or donation, whatever you want to call it, Thursday or Friday. I can't remember when it was. That is amazing. I do not expect it, but it is very much appreciated. If you guys are interested in doing that, if you win using our advice and you want to give us a little bit of tip or donation, the Cash App is down below. I also have PayPal or Venmo. You can always email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and ask me which one it is and send a tip. I've had tips from $1 all the way to someone tipped me $500. I'm not going to say the name. I don't want to throw those names out there, but you do not understand how much that is appreciated. So, looking at this, we are into a main slate. Weather-wise, we're looking like the main slate looks pretty good. We got a little bit of weather in Minnesota, but outside of that, this big main slate of 10 games, we should be good to go. Then we look at the afternoon. I think we might be in the clear for weather, which is kind of wild on a big Saturday or big Sunday with all of these players. So what we're going to do is we are going to check out the first game. We've got the Giants at the Yankees going in. The weather looked bad the first couple of games of this series. Saturday, the weather looked terrible, but again, a little bit better. So looking into this game right now, pitching-wise, Carlos Rodon versus Logan Webb. So we look at Rodon. We know that he got shelled in his last start. The Giants' offense has been pretty good, and in this ballpark, you always want to look at offenses here. So Rodon comes in with a 5.19 ERA, facing one of his former teams, and this is what I'll tell you. And I've said this before, so if you're new to the channel, anytime a pitcher is going up against a team that he played for in the past, you always want to look at those bats. And I say that because, you know, you've got the catchers, you got the other pitchers, you got the pitching coach, the head coach, different head coach, I believe, when he was there, but you have a scouting department, you have the analytic department. They know what he likes to throw. They know the counts he likes to throw it in. So in my mind, they're going to relay that to the batters. So you would want to look at those batters a little bit more. So he did not face San Francisco last year. San Francisco bats against Rodon. No one's seen him before outside of Willy Adames, who batted .231. So that's always one you could look at. But if you look at the batters against left-handed pitching, this is last year. Hopefully in about a couple of more weeks, we'll have 2025 stats for you here on Outlier. But you always want to, like, Matt Chapman is one I would look at. Tyler Fitzgerald batted .318 last year. Elliot Ramos batted .370 with 10 bombs against left-handed pitching last year. Lamont Wade batted .324. Casey Schmidt batted .311. All of these are good. Now, you don't always need to look at lefty and righty matchup because you can see Jung Ho Lee could take a lefty deep in this small ballpark. Wilmer Flores could do another one. Wilmer Flores has been pretty good in this series so far. Rodon, as much as I want to trust him, I don't. We look at his game logs. Detroit gave up 5 earned runs. Arizona gave up 4 earned runs. Did have a good start against Milwaukee. Gave up 1 earned run in that game. We thought he was going to have a good one. He still had double digits. His strikeouts are up there, but I am scared of what the weather is going to do in this game if the wind is blowing out in this ballpark, the way he struggled. Now, Rodon has good games, and then he has bad games. Coming off 6 runs, 5 of them earned, but 8 strikeouts, so his numbers look a little bit better. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. I don't think I'll have any exposure to Rodon. Then you got Logan Webb. So looking at Logan Webb coming in, 1.90 ERA. He's pitched once at home and twice on the road. He's had a good game against Houston, not a good game against Cincy. Now, again, Great American Small Park is different. The Yankees do strike out. The Yankees are one of the top. They're the second team overall that strikes out the second most this year so far. So Logan Webb at 8,000, I kind of like that. If you look at any of the history, though, Logan Webb, did he pace him last year? Faced him once last year, 5 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 7.71 per 9. Not much. In their career, like Goldie has a home run against him. Judge has 2 home runs. Judge has been pretty good there. Judge is 2 for 5 or 3 for 5 with 2 home runs. So those are good numbers. Against right-handed pitching, you can kind of see. If I were to stack the Yankees here, obviously Judge would be in there. Cody Bellinger has had a really good series so far. I would look at him. Ben Rice would be a cheap option. Love Ben Rice if he's probably DHing, so I would get him in there. Goldie, I would look at. Jason Dominguez is one I would look at as well. I don't know if I'll have either pitcher in this game. I will have both offenses though. DF or sports betting wise, I think Webb might give up like 5 earned runs, but I could see him getting like 7 or 8 strikeouts in that same game. So I think the strikeouts are there because the Yankees, they do like to strike out. Again, it'll all come down to what the weather is going to. Next game, Toronto at the Baltimore Orioles. So we dig into that a little bit. We look at the pitchers, Jose Barrios versus Cade Povich. So we went over the Cade Povich thing yesterday because with the game getting canceled on Friday, we didn't know if the pitchers would just move to the next day or how they would do that. And it really didn't. It did not do that. Now, again, anything can happen, but we kind of look at that, and that's kind of the same thing. We broke it down yesterday. Jose Barrios, 4.59 ERA. Like, he had a terrible start against Baltimore. He's already faced them once. They put him 9 hits, 6 earned runs in 5 innings, 5 strikeouts in that game, but 2.7 fantasy points. He has now gone up $400. He's had a good start against Washington and a pretty good start against Boston, but now he's facing Baltimore here. It's in Baltimore. That scares me a little bit. Barrios, I just don't understand. He's like really good with the Twins, and then had a couple of down years with Toronto. Baltimore's obviously a really good hitting team. I'm probably fading Barrios. Povich, on the other hand, 1 good game, 1 bad game against Kansas City. Toronto can hit as well. I'm probably off of the bats, or I'm off of the pitching in this one. Baltimore bats against Barrios, like Adley Rutschman absolutely dominates him. Batting .600 with 4 home runs. Probably one of the top options. Definitely the top catching option today. Ryan O'Hearn, 2 home runs, .324 batting average against him. Now today is the day of rest. It is Sunday. Catchers usually sit on these days, so that's definitely something to monitor. You might find some value in catching. Adley Rutschman, I don't see how they sit him. Maybe they DH him. I don't know. Tyler Broneal, 4 for 10 with a home run. You got Cedric Mullins, .310 batting average against him. These are all great numbers. On top of that, I would use those. I would use Gunnar Henderson. I would use Jordan Westburg if he's in there on top of that. So I would definitely look at Baltimore as a stack against Jose Barrios. And then Toronto against Povich, like Vladdy's batting 4 for 5 with a home run. I would use him. They don't hit lefties very well. They hit, as you can see on the screen, red means stop. Red means they're not as good. The green means they're better against this handed pitcher. They're not very good against lefties. Tournament-wise, maybe we throw Povich in there for tournaments. Cash-wise, no. Santander finally hit a home run yesterday for us. If I were to use Toronto bats, again, Santander playing his former team, but revenge factor, whatever you want to call it, the narrative, I would use Vladdy. I would use Santander. I probably would use George Springer a little bit. Andres Jimenez is another one. I think he'll be a cheap second base option for you. So in conclusion of this game, Povich for tournaments, yes. Barrios, I don't like much. And I'll let you know right now, if you are new to the channel, I'm not going to get every single pick right. I do have things that are wrong, but I helped you guys out a ton. You guys have told us. So, we're here. We're spending over an hour talking about it with editing and going through everything for you guys. So, be nice to me. Some people are very mean on the comment section. They're very mean. Even on my birthday, I had some mean comments. Just wild. But yeah, so that's what I'd look at. I would definitely look at Baltimore as a stack more. I do like Toronto as a little bit of stack. Povich for tournaments. Barrios, I don't want. Atlanta at Tampa Bay is the next game that we can look at. I need someone to tell me why Atlanta is so bad this year. I don't understand why they are this bad. I just don't get it. So we look at this game, and you want to look at Chris Sale versus Shane Baz, or Baz, however you want to say it. Chris Sale coming in. We actually took Philly against him last game, and he gave up 5 earned runs in that one. He was very expensive at 9,300. They've dropped him down. He's going up against Tampa Bay, though. But the problem is this ballpark is the Yankee spring training ballpark. The ball just flies out of here. I don't think it matters which pitcher it is. While I don't trust Tampa Bay's offense normally, this ballpark, I want to have some exposure to it. Now, Chris Sale at 9,000 makes sense. Had a good start. I mean, he hasn't had like a massive start. He's given up at least a minimum of 3 earned runs in every game. He's also had a minimum of 5 strikeouts in every game. So that's kind of like, I'm surprised he's only 9,000. Tampa Bay offense-wise, both of these offenses are bad. Let's put it that way. And we look at that. Tampa Bay against him, like Danny Jansen has a home run. We usually like to take Danny J against lefties. Against left-handed pitching, Caminero I could look at for home run. Yandy Diaz, Chris Med, Danny Jansen. Like if you want to go that way, because I think a lot of people will be on Chris Sale. But the ballpark, the way it's playing, I don't mind taking Tampa Bay here. I'll have a little bit of exposure to Chris Sale, but I think a sneaky stack today could be Tampa Bay. Now, depending on the lineup that comes out, again, it's a Friday or it's a Sunday. Ben Rortvedt, I fully expect Danny Jansen to be starting in this one. Would not be surprised if he hits a home run in this one. Atlanta offense, Shane Baz, we look at what he's been able to do to start the season. Back-to-back really good starts. One against Pittsburgh, 33.3. One against LA, which offense is actually doing really well. He only gave up 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Did have 4 walks, though. 19.6, but if he did not have those walks, we're probably looking at 27 fantasy points, which is huge. He's been dominant. The Braves are bad. They're bad. The Braves are bad. I don't know why. I don't understand why. Honestly, you want to save $200? I'd go Shane over Chris Sale. But again, this ballpark always scares me a little bit. So I would look at maybe a Marcell Ozuna, a Matt Olson in this ballpark. I don't mind that. I don't know if Jared Kelenic is going to be in. I would look at him as well. They really haven't seen him, but I mean, Orlando Arcia is another one. Ozzie Albies can get on base. You could look at Austin Riley. You could also look at. So I will have exposure. I don't know if I'll have exposure in DFS or if I'll have more exposure in sports betting, whether or not I take the Braves for over under 1.5 bases, or maybe I do a silly little home run parlay with like Marcell Ozuna, Austin Riley, maybe Matt Olson, something like that. I could look at it that way. So pitching wise, this game, I'm probably avoiding it, which is wild to say because it is Chris Sale. But again, Chris Sale is coming off Cy Young last year, so he has great stuff. We know that. It just depends on which one we're going to see. We have another game in Great American Small Park. We've got the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Cincinnati Reds. We got Hunter Green versus Lodzinski. So we took Green his last start, dominant against San Francisco. It was a pitcher's ballpark. He had 7 strikeouts in that game. He's at a minimum of 7 in that game. Now he gets a great matchup against Pittsburgh. They obviously see a ton of each other because they play in the same division. Last year, 0-2 record, 4.72 ERA per 9, but he had 12.15 strikeouts per 9. So he struck them out in those games that he needed. Against Hunter Green, you have Brian Reynolds with a home run, and you have O'Neill Cruz with 2 home runs. The only thing that scares me, this ballpark here, Great American Small Park, the ball likes to fly out. If you were to fade Hunter Green and go Pirates bats, O'Neill Cruz, McCutchen, Brian Reynolds, maybe Adam Frazier, Joey Bart. Now, Joey Bart was questionable Saturday. I don't know. I can't remember if he played or not. So that's definitely something to look at. But he would be a cheap option on a Sunday for catching too, if he is in there. But I really like Hunter Green here. And then Lodzinski here coming in. No one's had success against him, really. Against right-handed pitching, though, they do hit. So if you are looking at right-handed pitch or the bats here, Ellie De La Cruz, obviously. Candelario, I would look at. Jake Fraley, TJ Friedel, Spencer Steer. I don't mind a Cincinnati stack. So moving on to the next game, you got Kansas City at Cleveland. You got Cole Ragans versus Ben Lively. Always looking for a little edge here. Now, Cole Ragans has been good. 2.81 ERA, 24 strikeouts. Does not have a dub, though. That's the problem. But, I mean, he did face this Cleveland team at home, which is a pitcher's ballpark. 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 strikes. So the strikeouts were low. But since that game, 10 strikeouts against Milwaukee, 11 strikeouts against Minnesota. Gone damn near 100 pitches in those games. 8,100, he's now 8,400. I don't mind him. I do like him. Again, though, Cleveland just saw him, 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? Always something to think about. They obviously saw him, the scouting department, everything they have. But Cole Ragans is really good. But this is not Kaufman, so that's one I would look at. So if we look at the bats against him, Cole Ragans, Santana has a home run, Big Christmas has a home run. That's it. Against left-handed pitching, it's up and down. Like Santana last year, 286 batting average, 12 bombs. Stephen Kwan with 5 bombs, batted 319. Lane Thomas batted 302. I don't mind these guys. Austin Hedges could be a cheap catching option today if you want to fade Cole Ragans. So I don't mind those guys. Kansas City bats against Ben Lively. Pasquantino has a home run, and that is it. Against right-handed pitching, though, you can kind of see, obviously, Bobby Witt Jr., if you're ever going with Kansas City as a stack, batted 336 last year with 28 bombs, 91 RBIs, and over 1,000 OPS. Obviously, he makes sense. Cheaper option to be India or Massey if you want to go a Kansas City stack. Kyle Isbell could be a sneaky one that I don't think a lot of people will be on if he is in there, and maybe a little bit of Hunter Renfroe. I don't think I'm going to have any exposure to Ben Lively. I'll have a little bit of exposure to Ragans, but they just hit him kind of nice last time, so might look at a Kansas City or a Cleveland stack in that one. Washington at Miami is the next game on the docket here. And we have Mackenzie Gore versus Cal Quantrill. Now, I will admit, and I'll tell you before, I have been wrong in the past. I was off of Cal Quantrill his last start. He was going up against Atlanta because I was like, Atlanta's a good team. Atlanta's not a good team. 5 innings, 4 strikeouts, no earned runs, no walks. So the strikeouts were low. That's the problem. His strikeouts are low. He had 20.9. Somehow Washington is a better hitting team than Atlanta. And had you told me that in spring training that would be the case, I would have laughed at you and called you a liar. Cal Quantrill, 6,300 for tournaments, maybe. But again, I'm off of him. If you want to go and tell me I'm wrong, I'm okay with that. Let me know if you're using Quantrill. But I would look at Washington bats here. Now, Washington bats that have faced him in the past. You got C.J. Abrams, who's now on the IL, so he is off that. Luis Garcia has a home run against him. Paul DeJong has a home run, but only batting 143. So then we look at how they've done it, how they did last year against right-handed pitching. Josh Bell batted 252 with 13 bombs. Paul DeJong batted 237 with 19 bombs. Luis Garcia hit 288 with 17 home runs. Nate Lowe hit 13 home runs with Texas. Ballpark's a little bit different. James Wood, 267 batting average, 8 home runs. Keibert Ruiz, if he gets in there, cheap catching option on Sunday, 231 batting average, 11 bombs. Those would be the ones that I'd be looking at. There's always a, Dylan Cruz. Is Dylan Cruz even up on the team, or did he get sent down? Because I haven't seen his name in a box score in so long that I might be. He is up. But he hasn't done anything. He's batting 116. I would not be surprised if Dylan Cruz gets sent down if he doesn't start doing stuff. So yeah, that's what I would look at there. Don't trust Quantrill. I don't care. I would rather use Washington bats. Then you got Mackenzie Gore last year against him. 2-0 record, 0.95 earned runs per 9, 11.37 fantasy strikeouts per 9. So we look at that, and Mackenzie Gore, obviously first game of the year, 38.9. Second game, not so well against Toronto. Against the Dodgers, you would have taken him as a cheap option at 7,800. 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 23.9. He now gets a Miami matchup. They are 5th overall of striking out, the 5th most out of any team. I do like Mackenzie Gore here. I'm not really looking at Miami bats. If you want to see any of the bats, as of right now, through 10,000 simulations, none of them jump out to me. If you want to see them later, you can look at our projections. You can look at our simulations. You can look at our matchup tool to see if any of the Marlins have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. But right now, in this game, I would go Gore and the Washington Bats. So next game is Boston at the White Sox. Looking right now that the weather should be good. So that the weather in Chicago is basically the same weather that I have here. It's supposed to be 80 degrees. Saturday was a little bit windy, but it was like 75. The weekend has been perfect so far. So we look at this. We got Garrett Crochet versus Shane Smith. So Garrett Crochet facing his former team. Revenge factor. And I would be like, the White Sox know him, so they're going to know what he's going to pitch. But the White Sox are bad. So I would look at Crochet for sure. Yeah, Crochet, like he's had, the Texas start was okay. 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. The strikeouts are kind of low. He did have 8 against Baltimore, but 5 against Toronto and then 4 walks. So that the walks kind of screwed him over. But a fantastic matchup here. The only thing I could think of is if you want to go very contrarian and go a White Sox stack of, depending on who's in that lineup, I could see that. But I mean, 145 ERA, 17 Ks, and 3 starts. I'm going Garrett Crochet, and I'm going the Boston Bats. So depending on the bats here, Shane Smith coming in. 6 innings against Cleveland, 20. I mean, he actually had a really good start there. Boston actually strikes out 3rd most out of any team. So if you want to look at this, I would look at Crochet for cash and Shane Smith for tournaments, only because Boston, they do strike out. But his strikeouts have been low. 6 against Cleveland, only 3 against Minnesota. That's definitely something to look at there. Outside of that, if you don't want to go Shane, you want to go Boston Bats, Jaron Duran, Wilyer Abreu. Obviously makes sense. Devers, Bregman, Trevor Story. Those are the ones I would look at. Angels at the Astros, yet again. Let's break it down. So looking at this game, we've got Hayden Wesneski versus Kyle Hendricks. Now, we used Hendricks his last start. They said he's very boring. He's not flashy. He really doesn't do a ton, but he's serviceable. Gave up no earned runs against Tampa Bay. Gave up 2 earned runs against St. Louis. Somehow Kyle Hendricks is coming. He looks like 2016 Chicago Cubs World Series Kyle Hendricks. 16.9 is not flashy, but with baseball, you're looking about 2 to 2.5 times value. So 6,000 times 2, we're looking about 12 to 15 range is kind of the fantasy points we would look at. He's obviously never an SP1, but on DraftKings, he is definitely an SP2. Gets to go up against Houston, though. We obviously know he's not pitched at home. He's only pitched on the road. So all of his stats are on the road. Nothing really to go off of there. So if we look at maybe the batters that have had success, or we can look at that, we'll definitely look at that right here. So looking at Kyle Hendricks, did not face Houston last year, being with the Cubs. Just didn't face them. Houston bats in their career, Victor Caratini, a former teammate of his, 1 home run. That's it. Nobody else. Against right-handed pitching, they actually do worse against right-handed pitching. It's wild to think about. Now you can see like Diaz had 10 home runs last year, Altuve 16, Paredes 13. So Paredes is a former Cub player from last year. Whether or not he has any inside info on Kyle Hendricks, I don't know. Jeremy Pena had 11 home runs, Walker had 22, and Yordan Alvarez had 25. Those would be the bats that I would look at. But for his price, Kyle Hendricks, a cheap tournament option, I don't mind that. And then Wesneski did face the Angels once last year. The problem is this Angels offense is not the same as last year. I would 100% look at the Angels offense. We look at Wesneski coming in, 3.75 ERA, 7 innings against Seattle with 5 strikeouts, got 20. So he's had double-digit fantasy points in those games. But if I were to take one, it would probably be Hendricks because you're going to save 1,300 in this one. If I were to look at Angels bats, as long as he can stay healthy, I want Mike Trout to win MVP this year. I want Mike Trout. I want Joe Adell. I want Nolan Schanuel. I would love... we're going to ride that Kyron Parrish train until it derails. I would look at him. And then it just depends. Luis Rengifo, if he's in there. Again, Sundays are days of rest for some. So that's kind of what I would look at. So Kyle Hendricks for tournaments, I'm okay with. I don't think I'll have any exposure to Wesneski. I will have exposure to the Angels bats, and I might have a little bit of exposure to the Astros bats. Detroit at Minnesota is next. We have weather concern, and Minnesota is just a very bad baseball team. It's wild. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that the Braves would be bad, the Twins would be bad, I think I would have called you a liar as well. It doesn't make any sense. You got Casey Mize going up against Simeon Woods Richardson. So Mize against Minnesota. Mize comes in a .77 ERA. So he's been everything they thought he would be coming up as a prospect. He has struggled the past couple of years, but now maybe he's back on track. Maybe he found something. Got a good matchup here against Minnesota. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Casey Mize. I may be wrong, but I want nothing to do with Minnesota bats here. I would look at Casey Mize. And then Simeon Woods Richardson against Detroit. Really has not had good starts here. He's given up 4 earned runs against Kansas City. Gave up 2 earned runs against the White Sox. 11.4 fantasy points against a White Sox team that is bad. Comes in with a .559 ERA. The only thing I would look at maybe is strikeouts for him because he is part of the top 5 pitches be crazy, which we will talk about. If the game does get played, depends on if that's a big if. I would probably look at Detroit bats over any other bats here. And when I look at those bats, I'm looking at, and we'll just look at it here, but he actually had success against him, 3 earned runs in that start, low strikeouts in that game. No one's like, Friedel has a home run, but I don't know if he'll play. Justin Henry Malloy has a home run. I don't know if he'll start. But if you were to take some bats in this one, I would look at, if you want to go Detroit as a stack, Riley Green, Colt Keith, my top 2, Zach McKinstry would be 3. I'd probably look at, you can look at Spencer Torkelson. I don't know about that, but you definitely could look at Torkelson as well. So in this game, I will have exposure to Casey Mize, and I will have exposure to a Detroit stack. That's if this game even gets played. Kind of have to wait to see if that happens. Then Philly at St. Louis is the last game on the main slate for Sunday. You got Zach Wheeler versus Matt Liberatore. So Wheeler coming in, we used him his last start. He was the picture of the video and article, I believe, and he did not do anything against an Atlanta team that, frankly, they aren't good. I think Atlanta has, 2 or 3 wins this year. One of them was against Philly. In that game, 5 earned runs, but outside of that, he had 2 really good starts. Now he's going up against a St. Louis team that he has seen in the past. So we look at that St. Louis team, and let's check out what they have. So last year, 0-1 record, 3.86 ERA, low strikeouts against St. Louis. Obviously, this is a different St. Louis team than we saw last year. Against Wheeler, you've got Luken Baker with a home run, and that is it. But against right-handed pitching last year, you had, to be honest with you, like Nolan Arenado, 11 bombs. Obviously, if you are ever stacking St. Louis, Arenado's probably in there. Burleson would be another one in there. Brendan Donovan would be another one in there. Mason Wynn is now on the IL. That's kind of it. Lars Nootbaar, maybe. You want to go a 4-man stack. I'm back on that. I like Zach Wheeler train here. I think this was an outlier against Atlanta. I think he did good against Colorado. Great against Washington, which they are a good hitting team. He is 10,300, so he is expensive, but I would definitely look at him. And then Liberatore coming in against Philly. Liberatore has a 5.84 ERA. We stacked Pittsburgh against him and got us 5 earned runs in that one. LA put up 3 earned runs against him in the start before that. And then you look at what he did last year against them. Somehow had a good game, did not get the win, did not have any earned runs, but had 11.57 strikeouts per 9. I don't know how. Philly bats that have faced him. Trey Turner has a home run. He's always in play when he's starting. But you can see Philly last year hit lefties very well. I don't care if it's a lefty on lefty matchup. Kyle Schwarber, very boomer bust. We've talked about this, but I would look at him against Liberatore. I would look at Alec Boehm against Liberatore. I would look at Castellanos and Trey Turner. So that's 4 if you're looking for a 5-man stack. We always love to take JT Realmuto against lefties. Sunday, I don't know if he'll start. That's definitely one to look at. Max Kepler, lefty on lefty matchup, could be a cheap, under-owned option in a Philly stack today for sure. So in conclusion of this game, I'm not using Liberatore. I would, if I'm using a pitcher, I'm using Wheeler, and I would look at the Phillies as a stack. So that is your main slate covered, all 10 games. We are now going to cover the 4 afternoon games here on Draft. So looking at the next game, we've got the Mets at the Athletics. Again, this is a minor league ballpark. It's a small ballpark. We don't have a lot of stats on it, so that's the only problem. We got Kodai Senga versus Luis Severino. You got Senga going into this game. 180 ERA. He's looking good his first 2 starts. Almost 20 fantasy points, both of them. Both of them were against Miami. Athletics have actually, their offense has been pretty decent, which is kind of so weird to think about. But we look at that, and the Athletics here, and I'm trying to see, I don't know if they've ever faced Senga before. I mean, Shea Langoliers has and Brent Rooker has, but again, not much. Langoliers does have a home run against him. Senga has been really good. His especially on like an early or like an afternoon slate like this with 4 games, pretty much any pitcher is in play. So we look at that. If you were to look at batters against Senga, you obviously would have to take Langoliers, who's had seen him a home run against him. Schumann would be a cheap option. I don't know if Schumann even gets in much. Let's see. Second or third eligible, so he's pretty good, like eligibility-wise. He's playing. He isn't doing much. I don't know if I'd be on him. He's looked bad this year so far. I was going to say, I haven't seen his name pop up in anything on Twitter this year. If I were to use a athletic stack, it would probably be some combination of Langoliers, Urshela, JJ Bleday, Brent Rooker, Lawrence Butler, and Seth Brown. Depending on the lineup that comes out. Soderstrom, I thought he might be hurt. No, looks like he's good there, but yeah, it just depends. I think a lot of people are going to be on Senga because he's 8,900. Severino, on the other hand, again, so Severino would be facing his former team. That's kind of, and we've talked about this. They know what he likes to throw. Again, it was 1 year. Had a good start against Seattle. Mid start against the Cubs. Bad start against San Diego. So we look at that. 4.74 ERA coming into this game. Going up against the Mets, who he pitched for last year with the entire team that was there. They know what he likes to throw. I'm probably looking at the Mets there. So Mets bats that I would look at, Brandon Nimmo's number 1. Juan Soto obviously is there. Pete Alonso, Lindor, Vientos. Like today feels, and just like yesterday, and we've talked about in the past, this feels like one of those games where I say maybe make multiple different Mets stacks today. So pitching wise, I'm probably on a little bit of Senga, but that is it. And then I would stack for sure the Mets. Milwaukee at Arizona is next. You got Freddie Peralta versus Zach Gallen. Peralta coming in, 2 ERA. Strikeouts, 6.88. That's what he's done the last 3 games. 20 plus fantasy points in every single one of those games. We even took him against Colorado in Colorado because Colorado was bad. Only gave up 1 earned run in that game. Was cheaper option there because it was in Colorado. We had to take advantage of that, and we did. 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. Had he not had those walks or earned run, we're probably looking right around 30 fantasy points. He comes into Arizona now. Arizona is Coors Field Jr. But him coming out of that and having success in Coors, I'm okay with Freddie Peralta here against Arizona. They do hit lefties better, so I would definitely look at Freddie Peralta. And then Zach Gallen coming in. Bad start against Baltimore, 5 earned runs. Gave up 4 earned runs against Chicago. Had a fantastic start against the Yankees because they struck out 13 times against him. I think they struck out a total of 16 in that game. This one is one that I can't get a feel for it at the moment. Like, I know how good Zach Gallen is, but he's had 2 bad starts and 1 good start. Gallen against Minnesota last year, 6.3 earned runs per 9, so he did give up 6 runs. But had 10 strikeouts in that game, 10.80 strikeouts per 9. So those were good. You look at the batters against Zach Gallen. William Contreras has a home run. You've got Joey Ortiz with a home run, Jackson Chourio with a home run. Garrett Mitchell has 2. I would look at all of those guys. I would also add Christian Yelich there. If you don't want to pay up $7,800 for Zach Gallen, I would rather, I think, pay $8,700 and go with Freddie Peralta in this one and maybe look at a Milwaukee stack. Just a little one. I don't think I'll have a ton of exposure to it, but maybe a little one there. Then you got Colorado at San Diego. You got Michael King versus Kyle Freeland. I absolutely love Michael King. It's a pitcher's ballpark against Colorado, who strikes out the most out of any team, which we will cover. He's coming off an average of 14.9. Not really good start against Athletics. Not really good start against Atlanta, but had a fantastic start against Cleveland. At 8,000, I will have exposure to Michael King. Michael King's one of my favorite pitchers because of how bad Colorado is. Then Kyle Freeland, 2 bad starts, 1 good against Tampa Bay. And if you've been with us before, you know San Diego, they just don't hit lefties as well for whatever reason. So if we look at San Diego and we look at Colorado and we look at Kyle Freeland and what he did, obviously they're being in the same division. They face each other. Michael King didn't do very well against Colorado last year. I don't know if that was in Colorado or in San Diego. And then you've got Kyle Freeland, 0-1 record, 9 earned runs, 5.4 strikeouts. They were low. Even though they don't hit lefties well, I'm probably still going with San Diego bats. Either Diaz or Maldonado, whichever catcher is there, that'd be a cheap option. I would look at them. Jose Iglesias against the lefty. I don't know if he gets in, gets a run, gets minutes or anything. So that's definitely something to look at. Machado, I would look at. Gavin Sheets, Tatis. All of these guys make sense. Maybe a little bit of Bogey as well, but I don't know. So overall, I love Michael King. I'm probably fading Kyle Freeland. I will look at San Diego bats. I really don't want anything to do with Colorado bats. And then the final game of the breakdown, Texas Rangers versus Seattle Mariners, Logan Gilbert versus Nate Eovaldi. So Gilbert comes in 3 really good starts, 2.55 ERA, 7 strikeouts last game, 6 strikeouts 6 days before that, and 8 strikeouts to start the season against the Athletics. Does not have a win on the season. I feel like this could be a low-scoring game. I don't really want the offenses here. I'd rather take both pitchers. Eovaldi at 8,500. 2 good starts, a bad start against the Cubs. I will tell you, I did take him against the Cubs. He only gave up 3 earned runs and only 4 strikeouts, but he only 4.2 innings and went 87 pitches. So he was just getting in high counts. Now he gets a Seattle team that last year was the top team that struck out the most. This year they've been a little bit better, but I'd rather take Nate Eovaldi here. I really don't want either offense there. So there you have it. That is the breakdown. Any questions, comments, concerns, you can check it out. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is the website. Trying to see, most likely I'll be doing a Sunday Night Baseball video for you guys to break down the game. We'll use SaberSim and we'll build some lineups just like you guys are used to with Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and Sunday Night Football. But the pitchers aren't out yet, so we can't really cover it. It is Tyler Glasnow versus we don't know who the Cubs pitcher is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over all of the batters that currently have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating on this slate. These are through 10,000 simulations. They will be updated throughout the day. They will be updated. Final update is usually right about an hour before first pitch of the main slate. So like 12:10 or 12:30 Central Time for today's slate. So as of right now, number 1 is Aaron Judge. Number 2 is James Wood. 3 is Bobby Witt Jr. 4 is Nate Lowe. 5 is Keibert Ruiz. 6 is Vladdy. 7 is Gunnar Henderson. 8 is Jordan Alvarez. 9, Josh Bell. 10, Alex Bregman. 11, Alex Call. 12, Luis Garcia. 13, Juan Soto. 14, Salvador Perez. 15, Carlos Correa. 16, Wilmer Flores. And 17 right now is Michael Massey versus Ben Lively. So if you look at that, this early simulations absolutely love a Washington stack against Cal Quantrill, and I honestly could not blame them whatsoever. So there you go. If you want to see all of them after everything under the MLB tab, the matchup tool is there. It'll give you the player, the opponent, the park, the matchup rating, the pitcher they're going against, and the position of the player. So you can put that with the simulations, put that with the projections, put that with the chalk, put that with our cheat sheet, and check it out. So I do want to show you, I'll show you guys at the end kind of a preview of what you could see for $10 for a week for FTA Plus. So stick around after we do the Pitches Be Crazy, which is right now. So these are, obviously we have 13, 14 games under our belt. These are the top 5 pitchers according to the matchup they have for the teams that strike out the most. So number 1 on the day, Michael King versus the Rockies. The Rockies are striking out 11 times per game, and they're striking out 11.86 times per game on the road. Number 2 is Logan Webb at the Yankees, 9.85 times per game. Yankees are striking out 9.57 times at home. Again, yes, the ballpark is there, but even though the Yankees put up a ton of runs on Saturday, Sunday's a new day. Number 3 is Shane Smith versus Boston. Boston strikes out 9.8 times per game, and then 10.75 times on the road. Number 4 is Simeon Woods Richardson versus Detroit. I don't know if I like this one as much. Detroit is striking out 9.77 times per game, 10.29 times on the road, but Simeon Woods Richardson has not had success in the past against them. That's definitely something you look at, but I wanted to show you the top 5. And then number 5 is Mackenzie Gore at Miami. Miami striking out 9.6 times per game, 9.62 times per game, and 8.63 times at home. So those are your top 5: Michael King, Logan Webb, Shane Smith, Simeon Woods Richardson, and Mackenzie Gore. So there you have it. That is the Sunday breakdown. Every single game that we have outside of Sunday Night Baseball. That is our top plays. We have Pitches Be Crazy. We had 10 out of 10 matchup ratings. So that is it for you guys. But if you are new and you kind of want to see what's under the veil, what's behind the curtain of FTA Plus for $10 a week, I'm going to show you right now. So what I'm going to show you here is all of Saturday's content to kind of what you expect with MLB. You can kind of expect it with NBA, NFL. NBA obviously winding down, PGA, MMA, all of that. So just under the MLB tab, we do have our Vegas odds, completely free matchup tool, which is part of FTA Plus. We do have projections, both Fanduel and DraftKings. We have all of those projections for you. So looking at that, we can kind of see what we could feel, what you could see from yesterday, kind of get an idea. So this is just, we have it through, it automatically will sort by, you can sort it by however you want, but it'll automatically sort by DraftKings projections, but you can go through and change it. You can also CSV it out if you want to use it for an optimizer. You can throw that out there as well. Easily print it, put it in Excel, CSV, so you can upload it. We've got that for you. Same thing with FanDuel. So like our simulation, same thing, DraftKings and FanDuel simulations. Once it loads, it's kind of the same thing. It's got your simulations for pitchers and catchers, or pitchers and batters. It won't all fit on the screen, but you can go to the bottom and you can just scroll over. You can horizontally scroll. We've also made it hopefully as mobile friendly as we possibly can. But there's so much data, it's very hard to like show it all on a screen, whether or not it's on desktop or mobile, but you're able to, again, print, Excel, CSV, or copy it. But what I wanted to show you mainly, we got your matchups. You've got BVP matchups, batter splits, stolen base targets, chalk, ballpark factors, umpire factors, prop bets. But I wanted to show you the cheat sheet. So what we have is we have plays for cash and plays for tournaments or GPPs. We also have our top 10 stacks of the day. All of this for $10. Again, another thing that doesn't fit in the screen, and I don't know how to get this embedded properly to make it look good. So again, it is Office 365 right now, but you can come down here and you can open it up full size. If you're on, you might have the app on your phone, you might be able to turn sideways, but if you're on the screen, you can definitely check that out. So we have just like our pitchers, catchers, first, second, third, shortstop, and outfield for cash. Same thing for tournaments. Our top 10 stacks are there as well. You got ownership. A lot of people like to see the ownership. So FanDuel ownership, DraftKings, that's for all day, not just like main slate. So it's every batter for the day. We've got the weather tab. We've got early lineups if we have any, main lineups, early and main. All of those are starting points. It's not just an end all be all or copy and paste thing like that. And then you got boomstick shots. So these are our projected home runs, looking at the matchup tool, looking at simulations, looking at ballpark factors, looking at all of that. These are some of our best chances for the day. We've correctly called 18 home runs this year. Last year we had 111, and I want to break that. I want to hit a minimum of 150. So if like Jordan hits 3 home runs, that's 3 home runs. Same thing, back and forth. So those are the ones we went with on Saturday. If that is something you're interested in, definitely check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Go FTA Plus. Like I said, it is $10 per week, gets you every single sport. So today, MLB, NASCAR, and NBA. $30 for a month, $199 for the year. But 2 spots still available, still have not filled them, but have 3 people waiting to get back to me. Get it for $99 if you email me and say you want the $99 special. And if you have PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, let me know those, and we will get you set up for your pass, or a $500 lifetime pass, which we are trying to give away as well. So that is what I've got in this video. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic Sunday playing MLB DFS, round 4 of the Masters PGA DFS. If you're playing NASCAR DFS, or even the last day of the regular season, which I can't believe is already here, of NBA DFS, or sports betting. Let's have a fantastic Sunday. At the end here, I will link the NBA video for you guys, so definitely check that out. Give it some love, like this video, watch this video over and over for that algorithm that would help us out. Again, clicking on the ads helps us as well. So let's have a fantastic Sunday. Good luck, and as